Live at noon, this is 13 News Now.
A tornado just came through right on 460 right now. Just tore this place to pieces.
That tornado in Waverly confirmed just a few minutes ago by the National Weather Service. A toddler and 2 men killed during yesterday's storm in Waverly. Homes and businesses reduced to splinters by what officials called just a few minutes ago confirmed tornado. A small town now vowing to rebuild.
All of a sudden it sounded like the roof was going to come off.
It was the scare of their lives, and this noon neighbors are cleaning up after the damage left behind by the damaging winds and pounding rain, some of them wondering what they were going to do next. Good afternoon, everyone. From our studios in Norfolk, I'm Lucy Bustamante.
And I'm Andre Sr. live in Essex County, in Waverly, where the damage is widespread. There are clouds overhead, it's still windy, and I wish we could say the cleanup is underway, but it certainly isn't anything close to that right now. I'm standing in front of one of the worst hit areas here in Waverly. This is a home that was completely ripped apart when that tornado moved through. The owner tells me, the resident tells me, this was about 2:30 yesterday afternoon. She and 2 other people and their 3 dogs were inside this building when that tornado moved through and ripped it apart. You can take a look at some video. This happened not too far from here, just a couple of blocks away at a laundromat. This building was made out of brick, and the tornado ripped it apart. You could see some of the laundry equipment there exposed to the elements, certainly not what it's supposed to be. Now, back out here live, we have been talking to the residents who live out here who experienced this tornado that went through yesterday. I want to bring in now Elise Brown. She has been out here since about 2 o'clock this morning speaking to residents. You actually spoke to the 3 people who lived in this home. What did they tell you about that experience?
That's right, Andre. They're just devastated, trying to figure out, how they pick up the pieces. How do they move on from here? Today was the first time that they were home since the storm struck. Take a listen to how they describe those heavy winds.
The first thing that came to my mind was, oh my God, it's a tornado.
I went to the kitchen, looked out the window, spinning right there in the yard.
Coming right at them, roommates Alicia Jadwin and Paul Logan took cover.
All I could think about was, oh God, let me live through this. Please, God, let me live through this. I have a 9-year-old. I don't even want to think about it.
This sheet right here just exploded backwards, and all this stuff came into the house, and I was standing right here. She was screaming. I was telling her to calm down, calm down.
Within mere seconds, the shaking stopped and wind passed, the damage coming to light.
This is something out of a movie. This is just destruction, pure.
But this disaster is all too real. Nearly a day later, the shock is still just as powerful.
It's not easy.
Watch her reaction as wind brushes against her face, an eerie reminder of a traumatic experience.
Listening to the wind blow, and every time it blew, it just was like flashback.
I mean, as you can imagine, your heart just goes out to this family and lots of other families who are also trying to pick up the pieces as they move on. Live in Waverly, Elise Brown, 13 News Now.
I'll take it from here, Elise. I also spoke to that woman earlier. The only thing that she had was actually a picture of her son and the clothes on her back. They were all out there right now. Right now, she's actually heading over to a local supermarket just down the street from here. That is where she's told that the Red Cross is going to be offering help. She had to sleep at a friend's house last night because she had nowhere to stay, and you can see why. Now, we want to tell you a little bit more about what's going on out here. Virginia issued a state of emergency. The governor issued a state of emergency last night, and Governor Terry McAuliffe, he is scheduled to visit this area at 1 o'clock today. We're not exactly sure where he's going to start, but there's a good bet that he'll be coming to this area to survey the damage because it's so bad here. And in fact, just a short distance from where I'm standing right now, that is where 3 people died yesterday, including a toddler, a 2-year-old, thrown from the home. They were found 300 feet away from the debris, and I can tell you that I am told that that trailer where that happened is completely gone this noon. Now back to the governor and his trip here. That's scheduled to happen at 1 o'clock. He's also expected to visit Appomattox today, another area slammed by storms, a possible tornado there as well. The governor's declaration for a state of emergency now allows them to donate resources to storm recovery in those areas like here in Waverly and Appomattox. We'll have much more from the scene here of what's going on here in Waverly coming up a little bit later. Lucy, back to you.
All right, Andre, we will see you in just a few minutes. Well, we are getting more reports of storm damage. Take a look at this picture. That is the shelter of the Exxon on Northland Haven Road in Kings Grant. Workers at the gas station tell us that the whole thing toppled over during yesterday's storm, but that gas station, it is still open for business. Several spots in Newport News suffered extensive storm damage. Downed trees and power lines made it difficult to maneuver around Cedar Lane. That's in the Hilton section of Newport News. Sandra Parker was there live this morning on Daybreak and found out there were some very tense moments when that storm hit.
Reed Hanks says he's been through plenty of storms, but nothing like the one that hit his Newport News neighborhood late Wednesday afternoon. He says it was the scariest thing he's ever been involved in.
I was talking to my wife on the phone because we had gotten some warnings on the phone for some storms coming, and all of a sudden it sounded like the roof was going to come off.
So he quickly hung up with his wife, Tabitha.
I ducked and ran for cover. I didn't go outside and look until after it was over.
He was concerned about all the large trees that surround his home.
Just trying to find a place that would be safe if trees start coming down on the house. It sounded like it came through my backyard 10 seconds and it knocked down both of our trees just like that.
It also took down a power line in the process, but luckily he was safe. His wife, on the other hand, was at work frantically waiting for him to call her back.
He's like, oh my gosh, I gotta go. So I was like, okay. So we hang up the phone and I'm like frantic at work and I locked myself out of my computer. And then not any time later, he called me back and said that it was over with and he wanted me to come home.
Because of the storm, it took a while to get home, and the destruction and damage she saw on the way, especially down Cedar Lane, was overwhelming at times.
Now it's just like, I hope everything is okay at the house. So I was very happy to pull down Douglas Road and see my husband standing with a few of our neighbors, kind of just checking out the damage and stuff.
Now comes the cleanup, which they know could take a while. In Newport News, Sandra Parker, 13 News Now.
We have seen wind damage with the storm, and if you need to file an insurance claim, the Federal Office of Insurance says that there are some things that you absolutely have to do. File a claim as soon as you can. Check that deadline. It will make a huge difference. Also, keep copies of receipts and other paperwork. That includes any medical documents in case someone got hurt. And before you meet a claims adjuster, get an independent estimate on how much the work will cost. Well, the storm caused some delays and cancellations at Norfolk International and Newport News Williamsburg International last night. So if you are flying today or picking someone up from the airport, please check with the 13 News Now flight tracker for the latest status. You can also find it under our traffic tab. And the Virginia Department of Emergency Management is urging people to sign up for a statewide tornado drill next month. The drill will be held on Tuesday, March 22nd at 9:45 in the morning. Emergency Management says tornadoes, as we have seen, can strike at any time of the year. They're asking schools, businesses, and residents to take part in this drill. If you need more information on how to sign up your organization, visit our website, 13newsnow.com. Donald Trump finds himself in a new war of words, but it's not with any of his fellow presidential candidates. We're going to tell you what happened after he left Virginia Beach. And new developments in the case of a mother accused of murdering her own son and hiding his body for a decade.